Well, what do you want?
My name's Phil.
Yes, I know that. I'm more interested in what you want.
I want to know, you're on about Russia and nuclear disarmament. What about Afghanistan?
What about it?
Well, Russia invaded Afghanistan, didn't they?
That's true.
But they wasn't part of the Warsaw Pact, what Afghanistan
No,
was.
they weren't.
So what's your opinion about that then?
I'll give you my opinion about that. The reason Russia wanted to get Afghanistan is the same reason that they probably will eventually want to get Pakistan.
Well, what about
And that is,
Pakistan?
well, I shall tell you now, that is that the Russians have not got a warm water port. And they need, in order to maintain their defence against the United States, if they're going to maintain it, they need a warm water port. So it is part of their almost retaliation against American states. It's a strategic battle.
Yeah, right then. But also, when they invaded Afghanistan,
Yes,
Carter was president.
that's right.
Since Reagan has been president, they haven't invaded nowhere, have they? Because Reagan is more for nuclear weapons than Carter was.
Yeah, they haven't invaded anywhere else, no. But I don't think it's because Reagan is president, because if they invaded Pakistan, Reagan would do nothing either. Reagan will do nothing if they invade London.
Well,
He will only ever do anything when they invade America.
well, all right then. Well, Reagan has sort of infiltrated El Salvador in Central America,
Yes.
and the Russians have done nothing about that.
Well, your knowledge is a little Spartan in that Reagan hasn't infiltrated El Salvador. What has happened is Reagan maintains that El Salvador is going to a communist state,
Yeah, quite
and he will
right.
not have communist states on his border.
Right. Well, the thing is, then Reagan is he's more positive than what Carter was.
Do you mean he's a warmonger? He's prepared to kill?
Right. Yeah, he's a war.
I see. Yes.
But he's also protecting America and even us, really, against Russia.
I don't see how he's protecting us by invading Grenada.
Well, you was on about the Warsaw Pact before.
Yes, I
We
was.
are also part of the North Atlantic Treaty Organisation.
Yes,
aren't
it's
we,
called NATO, yes.
Yeah, so we're all part and parcel of that.
Yes.
So he's protecting us.
Is this why a general, the highest serving American general in NATO 3 years ago, said if a war broke out in Europe, we, and he was speaking on behalf of NATO at the time, would be prepared to launch a small nuclear device?
Well,
This was part of Mr. Reagan's defence.
yeah, well, the thing
What do you
is,
mean, yeah, well?
nobody has the actual power to actually push the button, have they?
Whoever's told you that?
Well, nobody's told me. That's my personal opinion. I don't.
What do you
think-
base it on?
Well, I base it on what I listen to. But I
Well,
don't.
what facts have you heard that give you that opinion?
Well, I've heard no facts, and what I'm saying is this is my personal opinion.
Did you toss a coin and come to it?
Oh no.
Well, what facts?
Well,
What do you base it on? What have you heard that makes you say that?
Well, what have I heard it on? Well, cruise missiles in Britain. You know, like who's got the actual authority to press that button? Is it Reagan or is it Thatcher?
That is a difficult one to answer because I do not know. I wish I did. I think we ought to. But
this is
what
what
you
I'm
said,
saying.
let us just be a little more specific, Phil. What you said was that no one has the power to press the button. That was your statement.
Right, quite correct, yeah.
Now, do you still maintain that, or do you mean no one has the power to press the button of cruise missiles?
No one has the power to actually press the button, not on cruise missiles, on anything.
Allow me to tell you that Mrs. Thatcher has the power to press the button on Polaris submarine.
Right. Mrs. Thatcher has the power. But
So your statement, that nobody has the power, you accept is wrong.
No.
How can you say nobody has the power, Mrs. Thatcher has the power, and expect me to believe both of those points of view?
No,
They're contradictory.
They are the way you've just put them, yeah. What I'm trying to say is that nobody, well, all right, then put it another way, nobody dare push the button.
Ah, well, that is a different statement entirely.
Well, all right, it's a different statement, yeah.
I see.
Nobody
Nobody dare push the button.
Because
Right.
what's the point of winning a war when there's nothing at the end of it?
Indeed, I agree with you entirely. What is the point of winning a war if there's nothing at the end of it?
Right, well, it's been very nice talking to you, Allan. Okay,
That's it.
right, yeah.
Fine, thank you very much. My word. You convince a guy that he's totally wrong and he says, hey up, I've got a funny noise in my ears. Never mind, I shall try Ian on 1. I'll do Ian. Hello, Ian.
How are you?
I'm very well. What do you want?
I'd like to make a complaint.
Well, go ahead.
Well, it's about all the driving instructors in Widnes.
About all of them?
No, not all of them.
Well, if it isn't about all of them, I can't permit it. I'm sorry. Fred, how are you?
Sorry, Alan, I called you a coward. I thought you were going to hang up because you said you were cutting me off. And I called you a coward, and I'd like to apologise for that, first of all.
You've done so. I'll do to Chris.
Hello, Alan.
Hello?
I'd just like to talk about sports people and the criticism they receive from the media.
OK, well, when you're 16, you can. Till then, keep your trap shut. Duncan, how are you?
Hello, good morning, Alan.
Good morning.
I wish to express my opinion about Bob Geldof and his so-called charity-raising functions in creating money
Go on.
for the starving people of Ethiopia by sending aid in the form of food and hardware.
Go on.
Well, this man is a jumped-up, egotistical, self-centred, drug-taking hypocrite. I know enough people in charity organisations...
Let's stop a second. I'm prepared to accept your opinion that he is a hypocrite, by all means. I'm prepared to accept that he's egotistical. There's no shadow of a doubt about that. The drug-taking, I would be very careful.
Well,
Have you any evidence?
Yes, he has. In the past, he has said he takes drugs.
He said in the past, yes. We're talking about now, aren't we?
Okay, then.
So let's drop that,
I know...
because it's unnecessary.
Okay.
And now read your prepared statement.
I know enough people in charity organisations that have given most of their life and valuable spare time to help people in distress. These people have had...
Chris, sorry, Duncan, this programme is not about people reading their dissertations. Will you tell me, please, why you think, or what your criticism is of Bob Geldof and his colleagues who are trying to raise money and have raised money for Ethiopia? I don't care a damn that you know people in charity organisations, and if you want to pat them on the back, do it privately. Will you please tell me what your criticism is of Bob Geldof?
I'd just like to tell everybody that he's very egotistical.
We know he's egotistical. We don't care. He's just raised, or will shortly have succeeded in raising, £50 million for charity. Now, is there something wrong with that?
Yes, there's far more...
I asked you, was there something wrong with it?
There's nothing wrong with raising...
Then why are you wanting to criticise it?
There's plenty of more charities that...
Why are you wanting to criticise it?
Need more money than...
You haven't answered the question. You came on to criticise it. Will you please criticise it?
Criticise what?
The fact that Bob Geldof has raised £50 million.
I'm not criticising that.
That was what you came on to say.
No, I wasn't criticising...
Then what are you criticising?
I'm criticising him... And
Why?
And his followers...
Why?
For not pooling their money with the Oxfam, Red Cross and Save the Children.
Do you know what?
Yes?
I wouldn't give a bean to Oxfam.
Why not?
Because their administrative costs are too great. In my opinion.
In your opinion?
And that's what matters.
In your opinion, that's what matters?
Yes.
I see.
And everybody else's opinion matters too.
Yes.
Now when
Including
those...
mine.
Pardon?
Including mine.
At the moment, particularly yours, but yes, including yours. Because when somebody decides they wish to give money, they have the right to choose who or what they give it to. Now they, in their millions, have decided to give it to a particular charity. And we're not talking about people who normally give charities. What Bob Geldof's idea has led to is people who previously would perhaps put tuppence in a Flag Day box actually giving vast quantities of money in total. I have a sister-in-law who is a young Bristolian, wears all the modern clothes, looks like any other 20-odd-year-old young person, is a bit freaky and a bit out of it, is against the system. And I'm sure that young girl would never, young woman indeed, would never have dreamt of giving money to some of the more established charities. except if somebody prodded her, she might give a bob. She's very hard up. She works as an assistant librarian and has very little money. Now, when I went down to my in-laws' home recently, that young girl berated me because I earn a lot of money, and she maintains I did not give enough to Live Aid. And Bob Geldof has managed to get the young people of this country thinking about others less fortunate than them. If you can criticise that, then you ought to wash your mouth out with bleach.
You just told me if I want to, if you want me to praise the people that work for charities, I should do it in private.
Indeed.
You've just done it in public over the radio.
Indeed I have. In defence,
why should you do it?
I have done it.
Why should Bob Geldof have that
I have done it.
opportunity while others don't?
Do you want an answer to your question?
Yes.
You'll need to shut up to get it. I have done it, A, not from a vacuum, as you did, but in response to your criticism. Now, to date, your only criticism of Bob Geldof has been nothing. He's got an ego. That...
No. He has not pooled his money with Oxfam, Save the Children and Red Cross in helping the people of Ethiopia.
Well, Red Cross...
He has wanted to go solo on a solo mission and look after the people, and everything that has been made over there as to have a band-aid stick on it.
When Bob Geldof started to raise that money, he did so, and he gave a guarantee to the people, predominantly in the first instance, because he didn't think it was going to be like it is, but he gave an assurance to young people that he would personally see that the money went where it should go. That was what he said. That is what he has done. There is nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong in giving money, but I don't think he's...
There is nothing wrong in saying...
the proper way.
There is nothing wrong in saying, if you give me money, I will see to it that that money is spent directly in Ethiopia.
You agree with him and his followers, the Band-Aid people at Midjor, taking over a hotel in Ethiopia, taking on their
if we are going to start...
and
if we're going...
having wild parties at night, do you agree with that?
We always seem to get to this thing, don't we? Having wild parties. Would you like me to... No, I can't. But I could actually put together a dossier on just about every national charity in this country and show you ways in which... Listen.
He does it so openly.
Isn't that good that he does it openly?
Yes.
When other national charities, and I could put a dossier together just from my own experiences.
Work for nothing, and also don't accept MAs, and don't accept any...
They don't accept me. Oh, come on. Are you telling me that no other person that has worked for a national charity has never accepted a personal reward?
No,
for Christ's sake, most of the knighthoods that have ever been given have given for work. Allow me to tell you that every single year there is a medal given for people like the BEM and all that crap. All that is given for people that work for charities. You obviously know very little about it. Indeed, I worked for what I believe to be one of the best charities in the world. For 5 years I worked for them, and that was the Citizens Advice Bureau. And even in the Citizens Advice Bureau, people were given the Queen's Medal for this and the BEM for that. People get rewards for their charitable work all the time. So don't tell me that Bob Geldof is the only one.
No, but he...
what do you mean, no, but? That is a fact.
Those people that do get the awards deserve them. Has he deserved it?
Well, so far, all he's got so far, in the sense of rewards, is an honorary degree. And I would say, yes, he does.
What is he going to be given?
I've no idea. Should we wait and see before we start ripping him off for it? It seems to me, Duncan, that you would do far, far better being charitable than trying to defend frequent, top-heavy administrative charities. Now, if you've got a criticism of Bob Geldof, other than the fact that his ego has made 50 million quid for charity, and that he gave... Listen...
Not him, other people have made it as well.
What I actually said was, his ego has made 50 million quid. And it's his selling of the story, it's his selling of the charitable nature of it that made the money. It was his concept of a quick way of making a lot of money.
That is true, yes.
And that concept has made a lot of money. And when he started off, and probably expected to make maybe 500,000, when he started off, he gave a guarantee that he personally would oversee the spending of it. And he has maintained that throughout, and he has done that throughout. And if you can criticise a man who gets it together to raise 50 million quid, and then continues to give his assurance, and continues to honour that assurance, merely because he got an honorary degree, then as I said before, you need to wash out your mouth with bleach.
With bleach.
Good night. Jack, how are you doing?
Hello, Alan.
Hello?
The other day you said you were a firm believer in what goes up must come down.
Go on.
Oh, well, no, it's dead serious. There's a satellite at the moment currently leaving the solar system called Voyager. Now, that ain't going to come back down. Now there would a lot of nuclear waste if you direct it right.
Where would it go?
Beg your pardon?
Where would it go?
Straight out of the solar system if you direct it right.
And then where?
And then out into the void.
And then where?
Oh, out into the void.
What void?
Outer space. There's a lot of it.
Yes, there is a lot of it, and over the next few centuries there'll probably be quite a lot of nuclear waste as well. And we on this world, this planet Earth, surely haven't got the right to litter up the void, I think you call it. We have a void here, actually, but to litter up the void with our nuclear waste. There might well be other creatures out there that don't actually want it.
No doubt, but surely it's...
So you accept that there are creatures out there that we shouldn't give our nuclear waste to?
There may be creatures out there.
Well, no doubt was what you said. No doubt implies rather more strength than may. I'm prepared to accept may if you want to say that now, but no doubt was what you said.
However, there are creatures on here that are, getting a lot of the pollution. It's only a possibility that there are up there. Would it not be safer to put the waste up there rather than down here?
And what happens, just for a few seconds, if we send this nuclear waste into this void, and the creatures that may or may not be, but just for now, we'll pretend are out there, think, Piggy, now look at that. What is it? Have a test of it. It's nuclear waste from Britain. Bloody hell. 40,000 years ago, we were that thick. Let's blitz them. Zap! Off the planet. Gone.
Right.
Finito Benito.
If they did that in their time, why haven't we got it over here, all their junk?
We might not be as bright as... No, I mean nuclear power. They might well have done it. They won't have sent their nuke. They're probably cleverer than us. I don't think we should ever clutter up something just because we don't currently want to use it. It's that mentality that has given bronchitis to the Northwest. Do you know that?
Well, I've no doubt, I've had bronchitis.
You're back to that no doubt. Did you mean maybe?
No, I have no doubt of that. No doubt
Right.
at all.
So it is that mentality that says, we don't want this for now, so just shove it over there where there's no one living and we'll be all right. And as long as we keep doing that, we will continue to foul up our world. Or somebody else's, for that matter. And we haven't got that right.
Well, how's about this, then?
How's about what, then?
Directed towards the sun. The sun's got a lot of that nuclear stuff already.
Yes, it has.
There won't be much left of it when it hits the sun. Well,
That is true.
when it approaches the sun.
Mm-hmm.
It's a downside cheaper than thrusting it out of the solar system.
Absolutely.
Then why can't we do that?
Have you thought how much the probe that was sent past Mars cost?
it costs a lot.
A lot. Wouldn't that have put a lot on your electric bill, wouldn't it, if we flew one of them every week?
Possibly.
You know, the miners go on strike for a year, right? And the electricity board loses something like 100 million quid. Now, if every week, because that's what it'll come to eventually, if every week we had to put together, let's say, just something that's only going to go up there for a few minutes, like the currently disastrous shuttle, right? So we bung it in the shuttle, we whap the shuttle up in the sky,
Yep.
and we flog this stuff out towards the sun. And it burns up as soon as it gets anywhere near the sun.
Yep.
The trouble is, we've got to get it up there first, and it costs 1 or 2 shillings.
I've no doubt, but...
I'm glad you've no doubt. You like that phrase, don't you? It's a pity you don't use it how you mean to, but never mind.
Right.
So when you have your no doubt, it will cost a fortune.
Yeah. But
How long can we afford to keep paying it?
what about cost of all the pollution that we're dumping down here, though?
What is the financial cost of all the pollution we're dumping down here?
Human cost is more important than financial cost, surely.
Well, just a moment. If you're saying that humanity is more important than money, why do we need nuclear power at all?
Well,
It's for money, I'm sure you're going to say.
well, not just for money. We'd
see.
be without a lot if we didn't have electricity.
I didn't ask you about electricity. I asked you about nuclear power.
Well, it's long lasting. I mean, we're going to run out of coal eventually.
And the world, of course, is made of uranium.
No, but it lasts a damn sight longer.
Okay. Well, why not spend the time between now and the diminishing to zero of the world's coal supplies, which I'm told by the National Coal Board and various others will last for the next 800 years. Why don't we, for the next 800 years, find out if there's some way of producing electricity that is non-pollutant, rather than just changing our pollution, swapping one pollution for another? Why not just spend some time finding a non-pollutant source of energy?
Well, now we're back to this point about money. Spending some time's no problem, but you find somebody who wants to spend a lot of money on it. They'll spend a little.
No, I'm sorry, your belief, I have no doubt, Jack, because no doubt was the terms you used, your belief is that money's not important, it's people that are important.
Oh, yeah, but I
Right.
mean...
Well, let me tell you that it would cost less to research a new source of power supply than it would to keep shoving all that guff up into the sky.
Yeah.
So why don't we do it? It would be cheaper and in the long run safer and better for our people. Why not do it? I'll tell you why. Because it's cheaper not to do it. And the reason the nuclear waste won't be stuffed into space is because it's cheaper to bury it in some poor sod's backyard. And people, in terms of government, be they this government or a Labour government or an American government or any other, people are worth considerably less than money. And what's more, considerably less than the comfort of politicians. So don't worry about it. It ain't going to go into space.
Thank you very much for letting me have the view.
It's all right. I'll do to Ron.
This afternoon I went out for a walk in the park and had a gulp of what I thought would be fresh air, and well, it was quite fresh actually. And as I was walking, there were a couple of old women.
We shall be with our next caller quite soon. Before then, we've had all this talk about the filthy lucre. We want to make some of our own.
Have you seen who's at the Palace Theatre Morecambe next week? Sunday, Ron Rico, the amazing hypnotist. Monday is Big Night Out Time, starring Barnaby from The Fame Game. Eric Fields heads the all-star variety cast on Tuesday. Lynn Perry from Coronation Street on Wednesday. Eric Fields back again with all-star variety on Thursday. And on Friday and Saturday, yes, it's Edmund Hockeridge and Mick Miller. What a week at the Morecambe Palace. Ring Morecambe 418-347 for more news.
If you need more space in your home, don't move out, move up. A step-by-step loft conversion offers endless possibilities. The family-run company Step by Step can convert your loft quickly and efficiently using the best materials and offering you the best prices. Book your order this month and they'll even carpet your loft conversion free of charge. Step-by-step loft conversions. Write to Free Post, Blackburn BB1 9BR. You've heard our radio ad, now see our video, showing examples of our workmanship. Call Blackburn 48973 for details. That's 48973.
Which pub offers a comfortable bar for a quiet drink?
And a great disco.
Every night.
Every night.
Only at the Halfway House.
The Halfway House.
On the A6.
At Clayton-Lee Woods.
24 minutes to 2, it's nearly time for me to go on the old finale for tone, but I will be back on Monday. But do remember to watch Brookside on Monday, I might be on it. And more important than that, do remember to tune in to It's Your Turn on Sunday between 11 and 1, I'm definitely on it. And then immediately thereafter I'm going to the Stanner Showground in Poulton to be at the Round Table Raft Race festivities. I hope you'll be there. I'll do to Christy.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I was listening on Wednesday. I had several callers ringing up about sexual abuse of children, and I was really upset over it all because there's another side to it. Towards the end of the night, there's a woman ringing up saying about her daughter had been suffering. Well, I'm actually the product of such a thing, and I've actually rung up the police twice and reported my father twice, and I feel it's really unfair because everybody always says, oh, you know, they've suffered, but what about the people that suffer all the time? I mean, I cannot change my father. I won't give him up. I can't change him. And I get really annoyed, you know, they say, oh, it happened to them, something happened to them. What happens when it happens to a person every night, or, you know, through years and years, or through their life? It really annoys me, this. Everybody's so busy spouting on about how upset their child was because they were abused. But I've been abused constantly through the life, through the knowledge.
Christy, I'm not clear on in what way were you abused? Were you abused by your father?
No, knowledge. I've actually reported my father. I am a moralistic person in a way, I suppose.
Yes.
You know, a backlash or something, but I've actually reported my father twice, and I've paid the penalties twice, emotionally and physically and financially. And I feel that it's really unfair because I am in the minority, obviously. I mean,
but were you the victim of your father's?
No, I had to live through it, not just one person.
Yes. So your father indecently molested somebody.
Yes.
And you reported him.
Yes.
You say you're in the minority, and all people who have been molested, or indeed have been molesters, are in the minority. But you are, well, almost unique.
No, that's just it. I mean, there are other people that yeah, like my father, that you see, you saying that they should get help. But the thing is, to them, what they do is as natural as a homosexual, heterosexual or bisexual relationship.
Indeed.
It is as natural to them, and there is no way that you can say what you're doing is wrong, because they say, well, it's wrong in the law, but it's right to me.
Yes.
So consequently, I've had to suffer a damn sight more than people, you know, just people that have actually been abused, because you cannot change the basic chemistry of a person.
I'm prepared to accept that in simplistic terms. I'm rather more concerned, at the moment at least, with what you hope to achieve by this phone call.
From the simple reason that the people that have children or know of children that have been abused, there's always two sides to every coin.
Yes.
And to try to understand the other side. As somebody said to me the other day about my father, they said, well, I know you. So I'm always in your father's favour. But having said that, if it was on the other side, if it was somebody I knew and it was their child, I would say, well, throw the key away.
Now we're coming to the crux of the matter. I accept the emotional trauma you must suffer, almost constantly. But we have to consider, what is the answer? What do we do? You've already said that your father...
There isn't an answer, that's what I'm just saying.
So we lock them away forever?
There isn't an answer, as I say. The thing is, it's natural to them.
Yes, I accept that. I accept what you're saying. Now, we still need to find out why they do it, in the case of individuals. Because there are people, I do accept what you say about your father, but there are people who...
that do it, yeah.
That are basically just evil.
Yeah, they do it out of badness.
And what I said, if you remember, was that we need to find out why they do it, either individually, both individually and collectively. But Chris, all the talk about it was predominantly created by people who want to bring about what you've just said. Yes?
In what way?
Well, the talk that you say angers you, the talk from Wednesday evening that angers you, was mainly people phoning up saying the people who perpetrate
no knowledge, yeah.
Sexual crimes against children should be locked away forever. So those people are actually on your side.
No, I don't see that, sorry.
You don't see that?
No. No, good grief, no.
When I say they're on your side, I don't mean they're all for you. I mean that they want what you want. And that is...
Just sort the individual out.
Well, twofold. They want the person, first of all, removed from society forever, which is what you've just said you want doing as well.
No, I just said that it was a natural thing within that person.
But you also said they should be locked away and throw away the key.
I said some people feel that way.
My apologies, I've misquoted you. My sincere apologies. Right.
I said somebody, person I know, he said if he knows me, so he's rooting for my father to always be on the right side. But having said that, he said that if he knew somebody with children, he would say, throw the key away.
Indeed. My apologies, I misquoted you, which is why I was confused. I'm now unconfused, as it were. Right. So what you're saying is that your father has what society believes to be a malfunction.
Problem, yeah.
What's the answer, in your view?
Well, I mean, I've tried it. When I reported him, the first time it was shock. The second time I thought he'd get help, but he didn't. I've been to the GP over it, and the GP has said that he can actually give injections to stifle the urge. But the thing is, the person has to go themselves. I mean, it's a free state, so you can't say, I want this to be done to him.
Yes.
Obviously, it's a natural urge. So it's then he's not going to want to.
Indeed, yes. His motivation, as far as he's concerned, is perfectly okay. Why the hell should he get help?
Exactly.
But we as a state, we as a country, as a community, need to protect our children.
Oh, this is why I rang the police in the first place.
Yes.
But having said that, I mean, he's still my father. He's still a human being, and I can still understand not understand why he does it, but appreciate. Wrong words again. I can see why he does it.
Yes.
Because it's natural to him. And I can't change him. I can't change him any more than he can change me, being what is classified as normal. But I feel upset that people say, well, you know, my child went through this. I mean, obviously I've seen it from the other side, and there's probably going to be a big outcry. But the thing is, the children that I have actually come into contact with him, via him, they've all been knowledgeable.
Yes.
If you know what I mean.
Yes, I know what you mean. But that is not always the case, and I'm sure you're not making that as the case.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that you don't go into a stranger's house unless you know what's going to happen, or you know the script. And he's done these things. It's natural to him.
What ages were these children?
11, 12, 13.
You see, I have difficulty in believing that your father has been able to find so frequently knowledgeable children.
My father had an occupation where he had goodies, which were enticements.
Yes.
I won't go into it any further.
Okay, that's all right, because we don't want to identify yourself or him.
Okay.
I accept that. But you see, you've just
he was
slightly contradicted yourself.
He was actually renowned at the local comprehensive. He was actually renowned as a person to go to. And the last time, it was a little boy of 11. And when it came to the police case, the little lad didn't even know why he'd gone there. It was the older boys that had said to him, go to this house. And it was actually spreading through the school.
That he had goodies. So, the motivation of the children to
the knowledge
go there was the goodies.
The knowledge is... It was, I don't know, it's probably like... Well, you know what kids are. Excitement, something different, what's happening. You're not allowed to go there, so you go there anyway.
It could well have been the reward they were interested in.
I wouldn't say so, no.
Well, that's understandable. You have a particular emotive involvement. But
well, I try to not be... I am emotionally involved, obviously.
Yeah.
But I try not to be, because my own attitude is the welfare of the child. And that's why I say that most of them, I would say all of them, probably had a knowledge. I mean, I've gone through the hell of when I was at home, of ring-a-bell run, broken windows, eggs on the windows, the whole abuse of children.
Yes, I'm prepared to accept all of that, and that must be terrifying, disorientating almost.
You grow up with it.
Right. But what we need to do, surely, Christy, is to find some solution. Now, there isn't
there is one.
No, there isn't a solution immediately available. And notwithstanding that, we do still have to protect our children.
I agree with that, totally.
So is the answer, then, to do what your friend said would happen if he didn't know you?
Well, this is why I rang up, basically, to say there's two sides and try to appreciate the other side. I mean, nobody's perfect in this world, nor right. He's not only not perfect, but he's also illegal. But he's still a human being.
Yes, he is. And we do have responsibilities to all human beings. But where our responsibilities come into conflict is if we are responsible to human being A, and the result of that fair treatment is almost the punishment of B, C, D, E, F, G, all of whom are children, then we have to say, well, just a minute, we need to be fair to A, but we need also to be fair to B, C, D, E, F and G.
I'm not what he's done.
No, I know you're not seeking to condone it. What I'm trying to lead you towards is the question, if we cannot cure, because it's not an illness, in A, who on this occasion, sadly, is your father, and if we cannot get him treated in such a way as to make him acceptable in our society, then has our society not got the right to say, well, we can't have him in society, take him out? And for the protection of B, C, D, E, F and G, we have to be unfair to A. And as your friend said, put him inside and throw away the key.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that, but I feel that you're arguing on the opposite side to obviously what I am.
Indeed, I'm definitely arguing. I'm not actually arguing, I hope. I'm trying, yes, I'm trying to put that side.
That is a natural thing. I mean, I come across this all the time. This is what I feel that is wrong.
Do you accept that we've got to prevent or stop your father interfering with children?
Yes.
Do you accept that we cannot do that medically?
No.
No. Then what is the solution medically?
Well, as I say, I've been to my GP over it, and he said that it is possible to curb the urge. Now, to me, putting a man in prison is not the answer. To me, I mean, he's a normal person in every way. He just has this urge, and I think that if it could be curbed, which it can be done medically, I feel that, well, I know he's, you know, as far as society's concerned, he's all right.
So is the answer then, Christy, to force your father, put within the bounds of the...
No, it can't be forced.
Well, it perhaps can.
It could be through the courts. It could be enforced through the courts.
Right, that's what I was saying. Put within the bounds of the courts the punishment, inverted commas, that you go, you get medical treatment, and when that medical treatment takes effect, we let you out again.
Yeah, I believe they do this in Germany.
They do it in one or two other countries also.
Yeah, well, this is what I think, but I'm not getting into the problem of him. I was actually saying the thing is, it's not just the children that have been abused, it's both sides, but I believe that that is one way, and as I say, I've actually approached our GP over it. It's something, I mean, you just cannot change the spots on a leopard. And that's what it is to the majority of these people. It's a natural instinct. And the only way it can be curbed is medically.
I think, Christy, we've come to a position where we both actually agree.
Well, yes.
Because I don't think the answer is throw him in prison, throw away the key. I think the answer is find some way...
Help.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Very brave. Cheers. Bye-bye now.
That's true. Bye.
Cheers. Chris, how are you doing?
Hello, Alan.
Hello?
I'm a collector of mugs, and I just wondered if you could send me a picture to add to my collection.
Oh, that sort of mug.
Yes.
If you send me your name and your address and a stamp, I shall send you a picture. Good night. If you want to join us on the phone in, you're too late. It's over. The gang, and they're cherishing the love, and who can blame them in the circumstances? Let us take our first caller this evening. If you want to join us, feel free. The lines are now currently engaged. Now currently, eh? You see, I don't mess about with the old adjectives. If one's good enough, use two. They're currently engaged and will probably remain so until 2 o'clock. If other evenings are anything to go by, and they usually are. So, what you'll have to do is just keep trying, won't you? But 0772 56 1000, do keep trying, and as I've said over and over again, please dial carefully. Howdy, George.
Hello, Alan.
Hello.
Just like to say, I like your show, I like your style, Pump.
Thank you very much. Very kind of you. Howdy to Dave.
Hello?
Hello.
Are you Al? I'd like to talk about hot dog men.
Hot dog men.
Yeah, you know them...
Yes, I know what hot dog men are. Those are fellows that sell hot dogs.
Yeah, I think they're revolting.
They're hot dogs or the men?
Both.
Have you tasted the men?
Not really, no.
You've not. So really,
Well,
you can only actually go on the hot dogs.
Yeah, well, the hot dogs and the cleanliness of the men. I think they're revolting.
Cleanliness, you think they're revolting?
Yeah.
I see. And what have you got to base this upon?
Well, the other day I bought a beef burger. Right?
I thought you said he was a hot dog man.
Well, they sell beef burgers as well.
Yes, but you said their hot dogs are horrible. Have you tasted their hot dogs?
Yeah.
I see. And because you didn't like the hot dogs, you've now gone on to the beef burgers?
No, I'm just saying. For instance, like...
It's a for instance now, it's not an example.
No. Or whatever.
Or wherever. Well, you decide, because you're telling the tale, so you decide what it is. Is it a for instance, or is it an example?
An example.
I see.
Yeah, I think they're revolting because you know what I mean, the state of the people, the men themselves.
Yes, you started to tell me some tale about the other day.
Well, the other day I bought a hot dog, right?
I thought you said it was a beef burger.
I'm getting mixed up.
Yes, you are, aren't you? Never mind. It was nice of you to join us, and when you've unmixed yourself, perhaps you'd like to call us back and try not to ring Bristol. Howdy to Chris.
Hello, Alan. I'd just like to talk about the teachers' strike, please.
The teachers' strike?
Yeah.
The teachers aren't on strike.
Well, they were last term.
Oh, I see.
They say they're going to take more industrial action when they go back next.
Yes, one wonders why they aren't doing it now, but that's probably because they've got their 2-month holidays to get through, yes.
Yeah, I'd just like to say that I don't agree with it, because here in Liverpool, in the secondary schools, there's an awful lot of kids who are missing an awful lot of time, you know, when important part in their career.
Well, yes, that applies everywhere where the teachers take industrial action, but what choice have they got?
Cousin who's missed that about 3 days every week last term.
Yes, but Chris, what choice have the teachers got? We have what can only be described as the most intransigent government we've ever had, and they refuse to budge. The teachers maintain they're not getting a living wage. What alternative is available to them?
Allan, but I mean, I think they should put the pupils first before the pay rise. I mean, there's an awful lot of...
But if they put the pupils first, Chris, they'll run out of weapons with which to fight. Our government is a great one for saying, indeed it's got our country littered with American nuclear missiles, it's a great one for saying you must have all the weapons. But you're asking the teachers to go in there handcuffed and blindfolded.
Yeah, but there's an awful lot of other people who are accepting smaller rises still.
But that's absolutely academic, isn't it, really? If you're employed, and that's what teachers are, people forget it is a vocation, and they do it as a vocation quite frequently, but it is still a job. And if they don't think they're getting enough money, surely they've got the right to say, well, we want more.
Well, yeah, but I think in a lot of the cases, I mean, they're on a fairly decent salary and do have, you know, considerable holidays and that sort of thing.
Indeed, but if they were a judge, they'd have just got themselves an astronomical rise.
Yeah, I must agree.
More than they earn.
That's ridiculous, yeah.
Yes, it is ridiculous, but the judges didn't have to strike. Perhaps if the teachers signed a document saying that they'll never strike again, they get paid as much as judges, because they only sit on the bums and do nought all day anyway.
But I just think that, if they considered the pupils, especially the ones who are doing, you know, O and A levels in 4th, 5th year, 6th form, and, you know, such a stage...
In the short term, perhaps you're right. I don't think you are, but perhaps we can concede that, OK, you may well be right. What about the long-term consideration of the pupils? Just imagine the situation. If the teachers do not fight for better wages, we end up with a situation where anyone with half a brain can get a degree these days. They get a degree and they think, I'm damned if I'm going to be a teacher. So they pig off and do something else. And you end up, basically, with the only people going into education are the ones that can't get jobs somewhere else, because they're not good enough. So in the long term, perhaps a decent living wage for a teacher is best for the pupils, and perhaps we have to sacrifice 1 or 2 pupils of today, and let's face it, the government could solve it overnight, but perhaps we have to sacrifice 1 or 2 pupils for today to make teaching a fine, upstanding profession that it ought to be.
Yeah, I agree with that for the long term, but I think you've got to consider the problems for, you know, in the short term.
But the short term is that the teachers want enough money to make ends meet. I know of teachers who are in receipt, would you believe, of the equivalent of supplementary benefit. It's called family income supplement. There are teachers that actually get paid family income supplement. The amount created by